Nigeria has an Igbo problem. There is a secret memo in government that whenever we want to take charge in this country, be careful of the Igbo. Don't give them position. Don't give them opportunity. Otherwise, they will over. For an Igbo man to survive in Nigeria, as it is currently put together, Nigeria must break.
Wait, the meeting you had with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
You are telling us now that Nnamdi Kanu...
Don't you know what happened, the cop program in this country, where people were slaughtered and their bodies and their heads placed inside the train going down south? Even our parents.
Wow.
Tell us, Igbo, in 2024, detaining Nnamdi Kanu against all the court orders, against all the court rulings.
What you just heard just now did not start today. It started right from the days of the colonialists who were so afraid of the Igbo people and how they were like, achievers and could do a whole lot. The Igbo community was one place where that was so egalitarian that you didn't have, some ruling class, some whatever, that it was democratic in its setup. And that's why things like the indirect rule couldn't work there. Unlike in the northern part of the country, amongst the Hausas, where you had complete indirect rule. So whatever the colonialists wanted to do, all they needed to do was to walk through the emirs and district heads and whatever and get it done. In the West, amongst the Yorubas, they did a combination of direct and indirect rule. They could still go through the Obas, but not as much as they could do in the northern part of the country. But when it came to the Igbos, they didn't meet that system where you had some people who were chiefs or born into royals and their word was everything. They made a place where there was democracy, where people are going to be questioned. And everyone had a voice as long as they were able to prove themselves. That's why, of course, you see that proverb where they say a child who washes his hands very clean will be able to dine with the kings. And for that, the colonialists feared the Igbos. And you've seen there are a lot of memos out there. There are some videos out there where they did everything possible to ensure that an Igbo man did not succeed after when they were living, even though you could see the most qualified candidate at that time was an Igbo person. So fast forward to today, this sentiment still goes on. And a lot of people have been, brought up and fed with that narrative, and that's where it has continued to take them. So the question for me that I always like to ask is that how far have we been without the Igbos? This secret memo that Showore talked about, in what way has it helped Nigeria? Hasn't it reached a time when we say that, okay, probably because we have kept the Igbos after the real key position might be why we are going through what we are going right now? Let me even take, for example, I remember a few days ago, I was digging through my Twitter handle, and I do that a lot. And part of the things that I saw a particular tweet where I was saying that when we are talking about educationally less developed area, we tell them to bring 2 marks and all of that. But when it comes to job, you find out that all of a sudden, especially public jobs, the educationally less developed areas are the ones who are getting some high whatever job. Then the ones that they are asked, the educationally advantaged area, I don't even know how they became educationally advantaged. They're the ones that are asked to bring the highest marks. But when it comes to employment, you see them having the least numbers there. Shouldn't it be that the people with the educationally advanced, not advantage, okay, I should use advanced region that are required to bring higher marks should be the ones that we will employ more and put them in our public enterprises so that they will work? Then you know that it is indeed meritocracy that is going on. But it's never the case. Just go and check anywhere that there's going to be, they're using cutoff mark. And the region that is always asked to bring the highest number, you understand, it's the southeast region. You see them sometimes, for example, where they are asked to bring 150, 160, 170. Some other states are asked to bring 2, 3. Unity exam. If you think that's not right, maybe I'm making this up. Just go and check it and see. It's very funny. Some like 5, 3, 4, 5 marks, 10, 20, 50, 70. You understand? But then when you now go at the end of the day, where jobs are like for those that we had, institutions and others, those particular people who were asked to bring the highest amount of numbers, you don't see them there. So doesn't that tell us something? That we have indirectly or directly shot ourselves in our foot just because we don't want the Igbo person to be in position of power. Ovevekuve. How foolish can one be? We cut our nose to spite our faces just because you feel that some people are successful, and so you don't want them to continue their success or be more successful. Well, here we are in Nigeria. Every one of us is suffering. We're all suffering from that mediocrity that has affected everyone. And for those of you that were brought up on generational hatred, don't like Igbos, hate Igbos and whatever, how has that helped your life? How has that reduced the cost of carrying the market? If you're not ready to unlearn and relearn, are you even fit to be in this 21st century? In what way does it help anybody? We are all human beings. At the end of the day, what we should be striving for is people that will get in and do the right thing. And so we can go on to do what we want to do without having to, all suffer. But there is a particular person who is one of the supporters of Mr. Peter Obi. He was actually the Director General, or was it the Big Tent, I think? He's from Sokoto State, if I'm not mistaken. There's always one thing he says. He says for him, as far as he's concerned, the person, if he's based on tribe, and the tribe that he would trust most with the leadership of Nigeria is actually the Igbo tribe. Why? He said because they do business all over Nigeria. So it is in their best interest for the whole Nigeria to work. An Igbo man will move goods from Sokoto to whatever part of Nigeria, from Maiduguri, from Benin, from Gusau, from wherever it is, he will move those things as long as there's business. So he needs the roads to work. And then he will fix the roads all over the country. He's not going to concentrate on one place or whatever. And so for him, that's part of the campaign that he always uses. That indeed, it's very important to do that. But hey, most people base this thing on, we were told this way. Like they will come out and tell you that Igbo coup. How many of them were Igbos in that coup? All tribes were in that coup. And then somebody, because you've been told something that happened something years ago or 100 years ago, you are still holding on to it. Meanwhile, you are suffering today. My people say go be a more. Say a foolish person is not something a person go give back to. Even if they talk say get sense, if you get your own sense and ask yourself, has the tribalism helped anyone in any way? It hasn't. So why do we still sit down and allow ourselves to be boxed with a secret memo? Who memo help?